everybody. JR Fisher here. Welcome. Good to see you on this nice day. It's Wednesday the 19th of January 2022. And we're going to talk about sequences today. We're not only going to talk about them. I'm going to show you how to build one. I'm going to show you how to build a Kartra, how it can make you a ton of money. I know I just ran a sequence last week and it ran out this weekend, and it made us a lot of money. I'm going to show you how I build that, how I go about that, so that you can have the same thing. You can do the same thing. In the description after this, it's not live anymore. Now, we're uploaded on YouTube. You will find a link that will take you to Kartra, show you how it works. And if you want to get it, you can get it for $1, which is pretty good. So yeah, and don't forget, put your questions, comments, suggestions, all that stuff in the chat box there off to my right of your screen. If this is not live to you, that's no problem. Put it in the comment section. If you come back and answer those, I went through and did that last night. I just answered a ton of y'all's questions. And really cool, guys. You guys have some neat stuff going on. You're making money, you're growing, and that's what this channel is all about, is starting, running, and growing your online business. So, what I'd like to also do, hang on one second here, edit mic settings, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so what I'd like to do here, first off, before we get started, I forgot, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you would, don't forget to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, my favorite thing right here, ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live so you don't miss a thing. You guys ready? If you're ready, say I'm ready. Put that in the chat box. Say I'm ready to go, JR. Let's see, audio bad. Why would the audio be bad? I don't know. It's hooked up. I moved it closer to me, so maybe that'll be a little bit better. I don't know. Technical difficulties when you go live. Audio is never bad when I record a video because you can record it, you can control everything. But maybe that's a little bit better. Echoey, he says. Well, it is going to be what it is, unfortunately. Let me try one other thing, guys, on the audio, see if I can fix that. Give me 1 second. 1 second. So the audio there is the Yeti, and I'm going to see if that works, guys. See if that audio is any better. Let me know. Just put in the chat section there if the audio is better. I'd like to get that fixed before we go live. So I just fixed that. And I know it takes a second for you guys to hear what I'm saying because it's not automatic, unfortunately. Let me look at the camera here to make sure that's good. Let's see here. Okay, the camera looks good. See if the audio is better now, guys. Yes, much better. I don't know what it is. It's like I tried to start this today in Google Chrome and it wouldn't recognize the camera. And now it's messing with the microphone. So if we got the microphone good and you guys can see me, then we're good. And if that's the case, go ahead and put that in that chat section there. Paul says that fixed it. Well, good. And thank you for letting me know too, because I don't know on your end. I sound the same every single day on this end. Now pull mic closer. Come on now. You can hear me. All right, let's get over to Kartra, and I want to share my screen here. So let me do that real quick. Share screen, and I'm going to say allow. No, I don't want to block. Always allow. All right, your browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon in our address bar to access. All right, let's see if that's going to work. Share, let me try share slides, share screen. Got a little problem here. It's not wanting to share, guys. Your browser has blocked it. Well, we don't want that to happen. Let me try it one more time. It's always something, isn't it? It's always something. Let's see here. Let me see. Your browser has blocked it. Let me see what I can do here. All right. I'm still looking, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to check the settings here and see if I can allow the screen. I'm in Firefox today, unfortunately, instead of Okay, let's see here. Handles your files. Darn. It doesn't want to share my screen here. You know, I thought last night I should just record this and show you the recording, but I wanted to do it live. Let's see here. Browsing. Always allow cursor. Let's see here. Picture enabled. I'm trying to go through all my settings, guys, to see if I can get the screen working. Because if I can't get the screen working, we're going to have a problem, unfortunately. Picture views, that works. All right, let's see if that does it right here. Well, video files, it's not doing that. Boy, you know what? Some days you just have technical difficulties. And I'm doing my darndest to get this thing working. But for some reason, it does not want to help. Click the screen icon in your address bar. Okay, let me see here. I think I got it. Hang on. Okay. Allowed. Let's see if that does it. That may have done it. Let me try one more time. Share screen. Select window. Let's see here. Entire screen. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got this. All right. Now, do you see my screen? Hey, I actually fixed it. Look at that. I'm a techie person. Stupid bitter cold here. Oh no, Diane, that's terrible. We actually are going to be 77 today, and it's like the other day we were 33. I don't understand that stuff. I don't know how that works. She says all's well. So let me know, guys. Can you see the screen? Is everything good? Because then I can get over to Kartra and start showing you how to build this thing. I want to make sure that you can see everything. So just post in there if you can see everything. It looks like it's coming through on my screen. And if it's coming through on my screen, it's probably coming through on your screen. And I'm going to click over to Kartra. You should see the Kartra one in just a second. That should be popping up on your screen. Yes, see it. Good. Okay, so in Kartra, what I've done is I've gone here to communications right here. And then what I did, I went to sequences right here. So it's communication sequences right there. And you guys, you know, if you can go back and watch this later, you don't have to memorize this. So you don't have to take notes or anything, but I want to walk you through the mechanics of it. Now, these are different sequences I've got running right now. Like there's 16,000 people in this one, 16,000 in this one. I think there's 8,000 in this one. So there's different levels of people that are going through there. And that's as the people join my list, they get thrown into these different sequences. But what we're going to do is we're going to go use this big green button here that says sequence. Okay. And I'm going to call this just test. And sorry, Paul, I have to lean forward. TEST. Okay. And let's see here. I don't really want a public description. I'm going to have to put something there too. So let me do that. I'm just going to put test. Okay. So now we got it there. So I can go ahead and create it. Now we have a new sequence. We've just built a brand new sequence that quick. Now, not exactly that quick. There's a little bit more to it. Right here, the first box you're going to see when you get in here is called starting rules. If this is in your way, you can hit this little tab here and it'll knock it out of your way. But then you only have icons here. And if you guys don't know what those icons mean, then it would be better if I had it out here so you can see it. So the first thing we're going to do is go plus right here. Now you can have an opt-in form that will trigger this and get people into the sequence. You can have a tag, and then what I would do is just select a tag here. Let's say SCF, and I would select a tag, whatever it is. I'll say any tag, okay, and then I'll add it. So if they have any tag in SCF, which is Survivalcave food, they will begin the sequence, okay. You could also do list if you wanted. You could also add a category here if you wanted. You could pick whatever list you have, and I have a bunch of different lists in here. If they ordered, you could pick the product they ordered. Then I have all my different products in here. So if they ordered a product, you could trigger it. If they visited a page, so let's say that somebody visited a page where I was selling something, but they didn't buy it, then I may want to send an email sequence to those people who visited the page who didn't buy. So that's an example of that. You can also add a sequence right here. So if they were already in a sequence, one of these sequences here, I could add that. And I could also do an automation right here too. And I could set whatever automation it is. And if I want to set an automation, what I do is I say, if this person did this, then this. Okay, that's all that is, not a big deal. But what I've got is a tag, so I'm going to save that. So this would actually go out to anybody who had a tag in Survivalcave food. So it's going to grab that entire list. Now, the one thing I do after I do this is I always do a filter or what's called a split. And you can see split right here. So I'm going to grab the split and drag it over here. So let's say I was doing a retail sale, okay? And I also, in my list of Survivalcave food, I have people who actually sell our food for us on their websites. So I wouldn't want to send out a retail sale to them. So I could choose to do this immediately after, which I would in this case, because anybody who is labeled as a retailer, I don't want to send it out to. But you could also wait a number of days. You could execute it at a specific date. And I'm just going to put right after the previous step, and I'm going to click next. Okay. So now it's going to ask me, what times do I want this to go out? So like in Survivalcave food, people tend to buy food right before lunch because they're hungry. So, I would set that between 10 and, 12 or whatever, right before their lunch. But I could also set it by the days of the week. Like if I don't want it to go out on Saturdays and Sundays, maybe my open rate is terrible, then I could get rid of Saturdays and Sundays. I'm going to leave this in here though. Okay, then I'm going to click next. So I don't care about the time. And then here's the split condition here. If they have the tag, okay, and then I'm going to pick a category, and I'm going to pick Survivalcave food here. If they have a tag as a retailer, okay, so SCF retailer is what I'm looking for. And I have quite a few tags in here in case you didn't notice that. Let's see, let me find retailer. Yeah, I got a lot of tags. I know. Let's see here. There it is. See right here where it says SCF retailer. So if they're marked as a retailer, I wouldn't want them to get this because this is a retailer, this is a retail sequence I'm building right here. So I would click add. Okay. So then what it's going to do is it's going to ask, do they have the tag SCF retailer? And I'm going to create that. Okay. So you've got a true or a false here. Now, if it's true that they have the tag retailer, I want to take them out of the sequence because I don't want them getting emails. So what I would do here is I would go over to complete, okay? And actually what I'm going to do is a little bit different here. I'm going to put, now I'll just go ahead and go complete right here. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the sequence for them so that they don't go any further. Now, when you pull over one of these pieces like this, okay, you see this piece I just pulled over? You have to connect it. So if it's true, they have that tag, it's going to complete the sequence for them and they're not going to go any further, okay? If it's false, in other words, they don't have that tag, then they are a retail customer. Somebody says, the view you're showing is blurred and not clear. Getting the idea though. Yeah, you know what? Next time I think, Paul, what I'm going to do is just record this on the screen because when you're doing it live, I think it loses some of its luster. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it's going to be. So then what I want to do is I want to send them an email. Okay. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to find an email, and there's an email right here. Now I could also send them an SMS. So if I want to text them, I could text them. I could remove tags. I could do all kinds of stuff, but this is going to be an email sequence. So I'm going to pull this email over here. Okay. Now I've got that email there. And when do I want to do this? I'm going to say, I'm going to wait 1 day. Okay. 1 day. And so what I'm going to do is go in here and I'm going to press 1. Thought I was, maybe I got to get up here a little higher. There we go. So I'm going to go 1 day, okay? And then I'm going to click next right here. So this email will not go out for an entire day. So for when the sequence starts, you got to remember it will not go out for an entire day. I don't have any time set, so it will go out, any time of day. It doesn't matter. Name of the broadcast. And I'm just going to put first email. First email. Pardon me leaning up here, but that's what I got to do. All right, I'm going to click next. And then I decide who it's going to come from. Now, this is Survivalcave food, and it's defaulting to this, but you can change the email it comes from. So you want to make sure you have a decent email. You don't want to have like info at or something. You want to have a more personalized email. You're going to have a whole lot better chance of them opening it than if you don't. And feel free to put your questions in that comment box as I'm going through this, guys. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click hashtag, okay? Select category, and I want SCF. And then I'm going to put any tag because I've already pulled my retailers out in that split. So I'm going to put add tag. Now, the people who haven't checked off the GDPR or the CCPA, you could click that if you wanted to. And then you could click next. Okay. Now, are you going to do a split test or are you going to do a single email? If I do a split test, it's going to give me 2 emails to fill out, and then I can decide which one I want to use based on the results. But I don't even have to decide it. I can let Kartra do that. So I'm going to do an A/B split test, okay? So I'm going to click next. So if you notice here, there's an email here, right there. Let me get this screen up so you can see it a little bit better. Maybe that'll take away some of the blur. Okay, so we've got this one email here, and then I've got another email below it. So it's gonna send out these emails based on what percentage I tell it to do it. If I want 70% this one, 30% this one. Obviously, when I do a split test, it's 50-50 because I want it to be equal. So I'm gonna put first test email. Now, obviously, I would not use a subject line like that. And then I can put dear. So I can put dear in here. And then what I can do is I can come over here and get first name. See that code right there? And if I copy that and put that right next to it, let me space that. I can put that code there. So now what that will do is that will actually, what's it saying here? Press, okay, it's not letting me paste the way I want. All right, so I'll go ahead and put that in there. Give me 1 second. Shift. Name, okay? So what it's going to do is it's going to put in their first name. Now, you say, well, what if I don't have their first name? Not a problem. It will put nothing in there, okay? So it's going to say, dear first name, whatever you have in the file form, this is the first email. Okay, now this is part of my split test. I'm going to put a subtitle in here too, describing it so people can see that in their email system. And then I'm going to put, let's say, the exact same email, but I'll put a different title. Better subject first email. So what I've done here is I've just changed the title, but everything else will be the same, okay? Everything's going to be identical. So what I can do in this case here is I can just copy this, and I don't think it's going to let me paste, unfortunately, but let's see if it will. Because I just opened this browser and it doesn't know StreamYard. You got to set it up, and it's all a big thing. Let's see. Feed a paste. All right. There we go. Okay, so it made me do that. But anyhow, so now I've got 2 emails in here. Now I've got to decide what percent. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change this to 50%. So that 50% of the users will get this email, and lo and behold, 50% will get this. So it's going to first default to 100 right here, and then you need to go down here and change what percent you want of this email. So now I've got my 2 emails written, well, kind of. This is not really writing email course. This is how to build a sequence. And I'm going to click next, okay? Run the split indefinitely or pick a winner. So I'm going to say pick a winner because I don't want to have to do any work. So after 1,000 send outs, look at the open rate. I can change this to open rate or click rate, okay, depending on what I want to do. But I think open rate because think about what I'm doing here. I'm actually checking a subject line. That's the only thing that's any different. So click rate, I don't want to go by that because that has nothing to do with it. I could do one by click rate later on, but right now I'm just going to do by open rate because I'm just checking the subject line. All right, and then I'm going to click confirm. I could add an automation here if I wanted to, but I'm going to click confirm, okay? So now I've got this first email. I've got to connect it. And remember, what we've done here is we've asked a question, are they retailers? And if they are, we want to pull them out. And if they're not, we want to go ahead and send them over here. So then let's say I'm selling a particular product. So I want to see if they actually bought the product. If they already bought the product, I don't want to send them the next email. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get a split over here, and I'm going to put it right below it, okay? And I'm going to say right after the first step, no, I want to wait a day because I want to give them a chance to buy whatever this product is. There we go. And I'm going to say 1 day, okay? And I don't care about times on this one. We're not getting into all that. Split conditions. If they have a tag, okay, and I'm going to pick a category, Survivalcave food. Let's say I'm selling 14-ounce can label buyer, okay, and I had a sequence called labels because when we changed our labels over, we ran the sequence. So I'm going to say label buyer. If they've got, okay, if they have tag, I could say if they have tag, I could say if they don't have tag, right? Let's see here. Does not have tag. All right, I'm going to say does not have tag. So that means that they did not buy, let me get in here again, Survivalcave food, 14-ounce can buyer. I'm going to say if they didn't buy this, I want to send them the next email. Okay, so keep that in mind. If they did not have the tag, I want to send them the next email. So then what I'm going to do, and I could put and also here, or I could add either one of these if I want to, but I'm going to keep it simple for you guys. And then I'm going to click create. Okay, so now what I've got here going on is I've got this split, and I'm going to slide it over just a little bit so it's straight. I hate when these things are crooked. And I'm going to bring it to there. Now notice these say inactive because I really don't want this going out right now, you know. But if you want to activate it, you would just click activate here and this thing would start running. Now, I asked the question, do they have the tag? If they have the tag, I want to pull them out of here, right? I want to get rid of them. So let's go ahead and do that. If they have the tag, and I can also put one big complete here and just draw lines from all these things to it. I'm doing it individually just to show you that way. The one I showed you the other day, actually I drew all these lines to it. So if they have the tag, I want to take them out. I don't want them to get the next email because the next email is going to ask them to buy again. So I'm going to put another email over here, and this is for false. False meaning they don't have that tag. They didn't buy that product, okay? I'm going to do it right after the next step because my split was 1 day, so I can use that as my timer. There we go. And I'm going to call this second email text. I should say test, but it says text, but you guys get the point of this. Okay, and then there's my email it's coming from, and I'm just clicking through these guys. Send if, okay, it does not have tag, and if you remember what that tag was, the tag was this. It was this 14-ounce can label buyer. I'm going to stick that in there. Let me check out some of your questions here. I do see some questions. I want to get those. Would it be good to send out emails so they hit at around 6 a.m. East Coast time for people who check emails early? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And let me tell you why on this. And this took me years to figure this out. Think about what you do when you get up in the morning. You grab your phone and you try to delete as many emails as you can so that you can look at the good ones later on. Do you want your email to be in that list of deleted emails? Probably not. So I always tell people, never send them in the middle of the night, never send them first thing in the morning. We never, ever want to get an email first thing in the morning. Now, somebody out there may argue with this, but I'm telling you, after 12 years of doing this, I have found that if you send an email first thing in the morning, it's going to get deleted. You have some of the lowest open rates first thing in the morning you ever do. Now, I'll tell you, one of the best times I found is right after lunch. About 1 or 2 o'clock after lunch, people come back from lunch. They're not really ready to get back to work. They like to go through their emails and look at stuff. That is true for J.R. Fisher Training. For Survivalcave Food, I send them at around 10 or 11 o'clock. The reason I send them at 10 or 11 o'clock is that people are hungry and they're thinking about lunch. They're more likely to buy my products before lunch than they are after lunch. So all of this varies according to your business. However, first thing in the morning is death to an email. It's death. Ideally, you think you want to be the first one they see, but keep in mind the first ones they see, they delete. So you don't want to do that. Let's see here. Do people split test emails for audience, gender? Just curious. The only way you could do that, Paul, is if you had labeled them audience, gender. Okay, so if you had said, these are people interested in Survivalcave food that are females. These are people interested in Survivalcave foods that are males. You could do it that way. I don't think there's an advantage to that because you want to sell to men and women. Okay, I do. I don't care, what your gender is. I just want to figure out which email works better. That's the whole idea of split testing, is to see which one works better, not to split your audience, really. So that's what I would say to that. Frustrated that I haven't heard back from Kartra on being an affiliate for it. Oh no, sorry to hear about that. They're pretty good. They'll get back to you. Thank you for this process. Currently, I am working on Zapier, connecting my chat box to my Kartra page. Yeah, Jessica does all those. She does Zapier, and we have a lot of Zaps that are hooked into Kartra also. Paul says, I bet some do, depending on product, service, and offer. They weren't sure which gender may react better. It could be. Yeah, mine is gender neutral. Is that the new saying now, gender neutral? Mine is gender neutral, so it doesn't really matter. Do days of the week matter when sending out? I would think Mondays might be bad. It depends, once again, on the business. And here's the funny thing. If you send out thousands and thousands of emails in Kartra, and you're sending them on particular days. Let's say you always send out your emails on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. When you go in and look at your statistics, it's going to tell you those are great days to send out your emails. Now, the reason for that is because you sent out all your emails on those days, and that's when you had the most opens. You didn't have many opens on Tuesdays and Thursdays because you sent them out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The only way to really figure out the best day to send them out is to send them every single day of the week and send them at every single different time, which is impossible. So you kind of got to figure out what your time is going to be and your days. And, you could send them out more days than what you want to. Like if you want to get down to where you're emailing 3 times a week, you want to send them out 5 or 6 times a week on different days and see which days will be best. That's what I would suggest to you on that one. Let's see here. This is true. I delete a lot of irrelevant emails right away in the morning. Yeah, I mean, we all do this. And when I first started, doing this, I sent them out first thing in the morning, not knowing that was a problem. So anyhow, I'm going to get back to this real quick. I want to click this GDPR thing. All right. My mouse is lagging just a little bit. No, it's lagging a lot. It's going in the wrong direction. Why is that? Oh, because I got the mouse upside down. That may have something to do with it, guys. Look at that. Okay, so I've got that set up now and I can click next. Okay, and I've done my A/B split test on the first one. Do I want to do an A/B split test on this one? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say a single email, okay? And I'm going to click next. And then I'm going to put whatever my email is in here. And I'll just put second test email. Send to the group of people that didn't buy. That is not my email text, guys. I'm just putting something in there to fill it up so I can go ahead and click next right here. All right. If you want to put an automation, you can do it. Click done. Okay. So let's take a look at what we've built so far. We have got this starter right here, which we have to connect. We haven't connected. None of these connect in the beginning. You have to connect them. Okay. And then what we've done with it is that we've done a split. We took out our retailers. We went over here. If it's false, then we're going to go ahead and start them in the sequence. If they bought the product, which is true, we're going to take them out. If they didn't, we send them the next email. We're going to connect this. And then you have to activate all these. See, this is activate. You got to activate all these emails. I'm not going to activate any of these because these are just test ones. But do you see, does it make sense how this works? Now, the other thing I can do here, which I didn't do, let me show you one other thing here. I'm going to disconnect this real quick. And I'm going to move this down. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put unsubscribe the sequence. So if this was true, I would probably want to unsubscribe them from the sequence, and then I could put whatever that sequence was. I'm not going to do that just because the sequence isn't saved yet and it's not there, but I could put that right in there if I wanted to. So let me connect this one more time. Does this make sense to you guys? Do you understand what I'm doing here? These things make me money every single day because they're automated. They just do what I want. They, show exactly what I want to the people I want. Now I could actually take this sequence and I could say, okay, I want to do another sequence to people who visited the sales page of this sequence and did not buy, right? So I could say all the people that came to the page and didn't buy, let me send them another sequence, which is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to send them another sequence. That will wipe up those people. Now, when I send them to the other sequence, what I want to do is remove them from this sequence, right? Because we don't want all these emails going out. And then I got another one saying, hey, you visited my page, but you didn't buy. But that's another sequence you could build. Does this make sense to you guys? Let's see here. Could I use this to email potential businesses I want to work with or for? Most definitely. You can use it for anything you want. I mean, it's just an automation, as in cold emails. Yeah, but technically you're not allowed to send cold emails. Technically, you're not allowed to email anybody who is not opted into your email list. So you want to be careful about that, because if you get reported as spam, you can lose your account, and Kartra will ban you also if you do that. So it's better to, man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's better not to use Kartra for cold emails. You may want to send an email out, through your Yahoo or whatever to a couple businesses and say, hey, if you're interested, click here and opt in, and then get them opted into your Kartra email. That's really what I would suggest, because if I were to take 1,000 businesses and run them through Kartra and none of them had signed up for my email list, I would most certainly get banned. And you don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to kind of warn you about that. It's not easy to be successful. It's simple, the steps are pretty simple, but it's not easy. The first thing that most people do when they get online is they try to create shortcuts. And I get it. I mean, I tried it. There are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. You can't game YouTube to get more views. You can't game the email things to get more people to buy from you. You can't game the system. You have to go through the steps. You got to do it legally. You got to do it reputably. And I know you don't mean to do anything that's not reputable, but you don't know that you just can't automatically email people. You can't do that, because Kartra will tell you that, when you go send out your emails, you have to be allowed to send out the emails to those businesses or those individuals. It seems all marketing nowadays is relationship and permission-based marketing. 100%. Yeah, it is. And you can build those relationships. And Tyann, you'll build it. If you do a page and you SEO it, these businesses will stumble on it. You can send them an email from your Yahoo, but you got to be careful there too, because if Yahoo catches you doing something wrong, you lose your Yahoo account or Gmail. I'm just using Yahoo for an example. So it's better to post content and have people click and opt in. So like I would talk about what your content is, Tyann, and Tyann is Plucky Chickadee. If you guys don't know that, I just happen to know her. So it would be better to post content and say, get a free download, click here. And then when they download, they get on your list. Okay. So you can use Kartra to do that. You can set up a opt-in form where they just, opt in, and then they're taken to the page where that information is, or they're emailed that information, either way you want to do it. But this, guys, is the beginning of a sequence. Now, this is a very, very basic sequence. I mean, very basic. Let me straighten it up real quick. Okay. And what I just did is I arranged it horizontally so you guys can see it. But this is what we built so far. And this is a very simple one. The one I showed you the other day had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different emails and a whole bunch of different splits and all these things. And it sounds complicated, but it really isn't. It's the same thing over and over again. It's like you send out an email, did they do what you want? You know, you're asking in that split, did they do what you want? If they didn't, you send them another email. If they did, you take them out. That's really all there is to it. And you can use some of these other things on the sides here, from unsubscribing to adding and removing tags to any of these things you want, depending on how you've set up your list. Does that make sense? If it does, put it in the chat box. If this makes sense to you and you think you can do this, you know, subscribe to the channel, because this is what I talk about, guys. This is all I talk about. And let me get back over here to this, and I'm going to unshare my screen here. So I'm back on the screen. I'm back. Okay. And I think this is a little blurry today because I don't have the other camera working. Why it's not working, I have no clue. I'll try to figure that out, but that's why we're a little bit blurred today. Hey guys, don't forget, give me a thumbs up if you like this information. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Turn it from red to gray. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or I upload a video. I do have a new video going up today. See, I just wanted to do individual personal emails to companies. Wasn't sure if Kartra was a way to do that. Kartra is an automation. And since it's an automation, it is designed to send out a lot of emails, hundreds or thousands or millions of emails. If you're just emailing somebody one-on-one, technically it's illegal. Technically I know it sounds so crazy that you can't just email somebody. Now, what you can do, Tyann, which is a really good way to go about this, is find their website and find their contact information and use the contact form that they have to send them your request or send them whatever information you have. That way, you're not using an email provider, you're actually using their form. So that's a really great way to do that. And I did that in the beginning. You know, when I was trying to build Survivalcave Food, I would go into people's websites, I would find their info at whatever the website was, or contact at whatever the website was, and I would send my information there. And that way I wasn't breaking any rules, and I literally would send out hundreds of those a day when I first started out, and I was using their form. So that was the best way to go about doing that. Let's see, it's just, okay, I will do that. How much work do you do on email subject lines? I have a couple of marketers I follow just because they add great headlines. Headlines are a funny thing. They will 100% determine if your emails get open. I have a list of 20 best headlines that I like and I use, and you know, I have those available for download. So if you want those, send me an email. But they vary according to industry. You know, like boom, this just happened is one of my headlines. Boom, this just happened. Okay, so that headline works well for me. Maybe it wouldn't work for an accounting firm. I don't know. So, you know, I would say start with the headlines I have, the 20 best email headlines, and try them out, and then try different things. You know, that's it. You just try different things until you figure out what works. You know, after over a decade of doing this, we know certain things work and certain things just don't work, okay? It's like if I'm doing a sale, I never say what the sale is in the headline. I just don't do it, unless it's a half price or better sale. You know, if it's half price or better, people tend to click on that. But, you know, if I'm taking 10% off or just offering a special of, you know, buy two, get one free or whatever it is, I'd never put that in the headline because they're not going to open the email. If they don't think that's a good sale, they don't think that's a good offer, why would they open the email and read the rest of the email? They won't. So I try to make it a little ambiguous. And then when they get into the email, it's going to kind of hint about what's going on, but it's not going to give them all the details because I want them to click. And the purpose of the email is to get them to click to go to your offer or your opt-in or your membership or whatever it is you're trying to get them to do. Let's see here. So that's what I got for you guys. It's 10:39. I ran over a little bit today. I think from now on, what I'm going to do is record these on-screen tutorials. If you liked this tutorial, if you think this is helpful, I can do another one on Friday. I can pre-record it so it's a little bit clearer for you, and show you how to do something else in Kartra. Whether it's adding people, whether it's setting up sales pages, whatever it is, I can do that if that's something that you're interested in. Hey, Paul, there is a video training on writing headlines. I can send it to you if you want. Also one on one writing great copy. That's very kind of you. I'm sure he would appreciate that, Tyan. Go ahead and do that. You know, if he wants to get that, do that. I love when you guys help each other. I mean, that is just the best of the best of the best, okay, when you guys help each other, because that's what this all is. This is a community. We're just trying to help one another. Guys, I really appreciate you being here today. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Got a few things to do today. Got the housekeeper coming later this afternoon, so we got to straighten up the house. It makes no sense. We got to straighten the house because the housekeeper's coming. You know how that goes, right? Thanks so much for being here today, guys. Love each and every one of you. I will see you on Friday. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't given me a thumbs up yet, I need them. I need those thumbs up. I don't see a lot of them there, guys. Please just take a second and click that thumb right now. Take a second and click that thumb, especially if you are watching this and it's not live to you. Click that thumbs up. That helps my distribution dramatically. So I would really appreciate if you would do that. Of course, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and put your comments in there if you're not watching it live. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Love each and every one of you. Talk to you real soon.